Oh, hi there, kids. Gather round, it's story time. This is a story that some of you may remember, some of you probably forgot, some of you probably have remembered to forget. Anyhow, it's all about the new Monkees. Now, how many out there remember the new Monkees? Anyone? Anyone? Well, sit back, I'm going to tell you about them. Way back in the days of 1986, there was a man named David Fishoff, and he was a concert producer and promoter, and he was putting together concerts of old 1960s groups like Jerry and the Pacemakers and Gary Lewis and the Playboys, that sort of thing, and they were doing very well. Well, it was coming up on the 20th anniversary of the premiere of the Monkees, and he thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could get the Monkees on one of these concert tours? And by gosh, didn't he get a deal? He got the Monkees, and then being that it was the 20th anniversary, MTV started to run their old TV show on their channel. Things were really starting to look up. It was Monkey Mania all over again. And Arista Records had the contracts for the Monkees at that time. So they put out this lovely commemorative 20-year anniversary album. That was then, this is now. And even had Mickey and Peter record 3 new songs for this. So everything was going along swell. Well, back at Columbia Pictures, they took notice too. And they were saying, why couldn't we make a new Monkees show for the new generation? Start Monkey Mania all over again. Sounded like a fine idea, so just like the original series, they got a casting call out, and people were lining up 3 deep, miles long, to be one of the new Monkees. Well, word of this got out to the regular Monkees, the original Monkees. And they said, no, you can't use the Monkees on that show. We're the Monkees. You're going to confuse people. Well, I think there might have been a little lawsuit in there somewhere. And it was settled. Columbia Pictures would call their new show New Monkees. Oh well, okay. So they had some auditions, and they hired 4 young men, and this time musical ability was part of what they were looking for. So it's not like they were going to get the kids first and then cast them as a drummer, say like a la Mickey Dolenz, who didn't know how to play drums. They hired a drummer, and they hired a guitarist, and such. So they got 4 young men, Jared, Dino, Larry, and Marty. There were our new Monkees. And so they filmed the TV show, and they didn't want to necessarily copy the premise of the original show, so instead our band was in a huge mansion with many rooms, and each room was kind of like a fantasy room. So if the new Monkees felt like being cowboys for an episode, they could go into the cowboy room, or if they felt like being astronauts, they could go into the astronaut room, whatever. Their kitchen was like a diner. They had a butler and a maid and all that sort of thing. It was surreal, I suppose, but this was the 1980s, and the music they played was very 1980-ish. And in fact, they tried to put out a single called What I Want. It didn't do very well. The album didn't do very well. The TV series didn't do very well, and it was canceled after 13 episodes. So that was basically the end of the new Monkees. But, hey, I did buy the album, well, CD, and by gosh, this thing is pretty rare. I looked on eBay before I started this little episode, and there was only one out there, and it was like over $100 for this thing. And yes, if you look, if I could open it, yes, it is the real thing. See? It is the real thing. So I have a little bit of new Monkee stuff within my stuff. So that was many years ago. What's happened to the new Monkees since? Well, not a whole lot. There were enough people out there who remembered them and loved them enough to even have conventions. They weren't as big as, say, those comic book things, and the boys would even show up and they'd even play. So I guess even if you can't go to the Beatles convention, you could go to the new Monkees one, if you dare. Anyhow, that's my little dissertation on the new Monkees. I don't know if you remember them at all or not, but just don't get me started on Big Time Rush, okay?